Hi, everybody. I'm Costa Macris from ET Let's Talk and the ET Let's Talk community and the People's Disclosure Project. I know that some of you are already familiar with what our People's Disclosure movement has been doing for many, many years, which is doing interactive CE5 contact with our galactic friends, star friends, and visitors. And for that, right at the top here, I want to thank all of you who've been part of this and whatever other communities there are that have been doing this CE5 Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind contact. Today, I would like to feature an important event that comes really to the heart of what our movement is, which is citizen involvement, being an activist and uh, spreading the word about the fact that contact can be made and that it's beneficial and it's what the future is. So to that end, I want to welcome Nate Ware here, who is joining us today to talk about a special project he has in mind and tell all of you a little bit more about where he's coming from and invite you to join him. So, hey, Nate, how you doing?
Good, Costa. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be on with you. It's been a journey, but just to jump right into it, I'll give a short bio about who I am and how I got into this. So in 2009, I learned of the Disclosure Project. I watched a video on YouTube, which was the 2001 National Press Club event in Washington, D.C. That's, where the whistleblowers came forward. And so after watching it, it was extremely compelling, but I was skeptical. And so, I had to learn more. I went down the rabbit hole and learned about CE5 or contact or what have you. And that made me even more skeptical. But it was just so compelling and intriguing what I was hearing that I knew I was eventually going to have to try a CE5. And so I did. And that was in December of 2009. And to my amazement, I had my first sighting. And, from there, everything was confirmed. I mean, everything that I learned up to that point was confirmed. Little did I know that it was, it was going to completely immerse my life in, what I believe is, for a lot of us, our mission to kind of help, get our planet where it needs to be. So, it really drove me to the truth after, a lot of my family members and friends I couldn't communicate with. And I ended up being able to, I guess, get in contact with people in the CE5 contact community. And it allowed me to kind of get in contact with like-minded people. And that's what I did. And by April of 2014, so 10 years ago, we kind of brainstormed and put together a few ideas on how we could help educate and inform society, or at least our local community. So what we did is we put together a community outreach event, and this outreach event just consisted of some presentation materials. It wasn't very organized, but the meaning behind it was important, and to our or to us, we believe it was pretty effective in helping to inform our local community. So as a side note, I think we can confidently say that during the time that we were doing this and, roughly coordinating doing this, it was probably the most intimate contact experiences we've had. And I only mention that because, as most of us can agree, these extraterrestrial civilizations would obviously be able to identify any kind of movements that, all of us are doing. And I think that definitely popped up on their radar, and they definitely let us know that they were watching what we were doing. And not to go down a tangent or what have you, but the intelligence community apparently knew what we were doing too, but that's a whole other story. So for those who are unaware what this conference is, it's essentially a proposal and a calling to all CE5 ambassadors or contactees, disclosure activists, what have you, people who are aware of these topics and subjects. So the proposal is a proactive approach that we're calling CE5 disclosure outreach. The project name to us, in a sense, is meaningless. We believe that it's the initiative or the effort, the proactivity itself to inform our communities is what is important. So we're not an organization. We're not a business, and this effort is not for fame or money or recognition. In fact, we would appreciate that nobody that no one attempts to offer us any money or if anything, we ask people to join in and to begin doing what we did before in the past in their communities. So the idea behind this is for all of us to work together to begin encouraging not only our CE5 and disclosure and contactee community to begin doing this, but to also begin informing the public. We're not so basically it's designed for all of us, and it's the vision intent is selfless, it's proactive, and it's aimed towards creating a new world. A knowledgeable citizenry, an alert and knowledgeable citizenry. So the idea again is to first encourage and inspire all the CE5 and disclosure contactees, and then to inform our communities. Really, this is to put pressure on the existing system. And we know that this isn't for everyone. We realize that, but we do believe that at least one, maybe two, perhaps three people in every contact group or working group, there are proactive people who would be willing to do this. So I think that, it would be very helpful that if you're not willing to outreach to the public, you could at least share this with people, that are in your group or in other groups, so that way, those people could begin doing this. So the idea is obviously to distribute, this materials, which could be documents, or we suggest finding your own innovative ways, and you really make it your own, and, to present things in a presentable and diplomatic way to the public. I think that would be very helpful. Also, for the record, we are a diplomatic and scientifically oriented group. The outreach we're proposing is not a religious endeavor per se. I say that respectfully. Our intent with the outreach is to be different from protesting. I think that's another key point I want to point out. Rather than enforcing or imposing our message, we'd rather people come together, or we'd rather people come to us to learn, these things. And while we do not consider protesting to be bad, we believe that this is a sensitive, these are sensitive topics, and we think it should be approached in an amiable way. It should be a non-intrusive way. So there's a presentation that our channel on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram will be presenting as of May 4th. And that's going to basically be an easy, essentially a guide on how you could present materials to your local community. And again, that will be on CE5 Disclosure Outreach on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So I want to touch on a few more points before I get into a little bit more of what we're doing. Although our efforts online are helpful, such as our social media posts, things that we interact with or partake in, podcasts, or even conferences like this one, or this podcast, they're all great, and they're essential and they're necessary. But those efforts may be futile in terms of educating the unaware portion of the public. And for example, the next time you open your phone and look at one of your feeds, whether it be your internet browser, YouTube, social media, if you like sports things, then you're likely to have sports in your content. If you don't ever like vegan content or let's say pro fishing content, then you're unlikely to have those things in your feed. So if you look at the posts you shared recently, most of those posts are liked or shared by people who are already aware of these subjects. And basically, therefore, our efforts are, they're futile. So most of the people in society are not being fed those things in their feed, the things that we all share. And so, that's why we're proposing this approach, to kind of go beyond the algorithm, what we like to say, and, inform the public offline. Now, I don't want to, come off as this all being negative, because I think that the algorithm is absolutely essential, especially to newcomers who do become aware of these subjects and then need to know more, or would like to know more. And so, what we're also proposing is that we use this algorithm that binds us all together and keeps us pretty inclusive to then share this idea and kind of organize online to then go offline to inform the public. And then they'll, at their choice, obviously, be able to have references to ET Let's Talk or the Disclosure Project or a number of those other recognized organizations that they can learn more. So that's the idea behind it. And so again, it's not a secret that when we share, post, or like, or comment, any UFO, ET, disclosure related content, our accounts are then linked via algorithm to related content or relatable people, groups, or pages. So we recognize the importance of needing to go beyond the algorithm or bypass it. And so that's what we intend on doing.
Is this event on May 4th going to give people instruction, to go offline, as you say, and promote to the general public? Is that the general idea of it?
Yes. So in fact, May 4th is going to be a pretty jam-packed day. So we're going to begin the day with the conference, and that's where we're going to kind of go over the YouTube video that we made, which is we're trying to have it act as a easy guide so that you can see that this can be done, and it kind of gives you some pictures and some reference of how it went before, also what to expect, and just kind of some easy tools that you could use and ideas for you to present. So that's the first part of the day. And the second part of the day, we're actually going to conduct a CE5 disclosure outreach for our community. And then after that, as most of you know, that it's a global CE5 day. So we're going to also go out and do our CE5 global event. And we're looking at live streaming all three events. And, that way we can at least have that to share with people who weren't able to make that event, and also see what they could do or what they can do in their communities. I think it's a beautiful idea because, just from the experience when we did this, most people, the fact that they come up to you, it shows that they had interest. And most of the time they were somewhat aware of one of the facts, whether it be energy, consciousness, or anything, disclosure or secrecy. They knew of one of those things. And so we realized that it was our job, or all of our jobs, to, kind of connect the dots and help them see that it's more than just one aspect of this. I mean, there's a lot going on, and it's a big picture. And the bigger the picture you're able to understand, the better it is for all of us and the planet. So that was kind of a realization that we had. But then what we believe even more so is the people who didn't stop by. And now we have banners and signs, and when people would go by, we often would wonder how many of those people, Googled this later on and then went down the rabbit hole and, essentially learned CE5 and, uh, you know,
Yeah, you can't discount the fact that just because someone doesn't take the leap into to you, that they've necessarily forgotten about it. You're right. That's
absolutely.
it's smart to have some kind of expectation that you planted a seed there that
Absolutely.
will sprout sometime sooner or later with them. Is there a central contact place that like a URL or whatever that people can go to just to see at a glance? May 4th, your schedule. I mean, just a description. Is
Yeah,
there one
absolutely.
place?
So at this point, the best place to go is to our Instagram page. That's just CE5 underscore disclosure underscore outreach. And there you can kind of see what's upcoming and kind of give you maybe a better understanding of what we're trying to accomplish. Um, uh, you'll see there that the event for Fusion, it has the websites in it, and it has everything there that
Okay.
you would need.
So people need to go to Instagram and look for, I guess, they use @ there, @ CE5 underscore disclosure underscore outreach.
Yep,
Okay.
that's it.
We'll try to put it up on the screen.
Awesome.
Okay, uh, I think there's a great amount of background information. Thank you for telling us a little bit about your journey. I like to say that every one of us has a story that got us here to do this kind of very unique thing.
Yeah.
And yours is a good one and a genuine one and a sincere one. And I applaud you and your team, your colleagues, for wanting to take it to the next step, which is, you found something really cool that works. Now, this is the time to reach out to other people who, just like you, may be right on the fence and ready to take that next step that you guys are all helping to provide. So I want to encourage everyone who's seeing this to share this video and help Nate wear out and his team here to do this mission, because it's really all of our missions. What they're doing is just trying to multiply things that have worked for them into the rest of the world. So, all of us can be the same kind of activist. So thanks everyone for joining in. Like I said, please share this and we'll take it to the stars. Ad astra. That's Latin, I think. Thanks, Nate.
Thanks for having me. Bye, everyone.
Bye.